Alright guys, in this video I'm going to briefly talk about the UEFA Champions League leaving PES 2019 and beyond. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome again to another video. I'm Matt10. This channel of course is focused on realism in sports gaming, and of course most recently happening in sports gaming is UEFA and Konami are parting ways for the Champions League. Okay, so what does this mean? So of course this means that the UEFA Champions League license is no longer going to be part of Pro Evolution Soccer as we know it. To be honest, many people have said this already. What did really PES, Konami, what did they really even do with the Champions League license? You know, they made the graphics great. They made the theme realistic. They threw in the 1 million seater stadium. That'll never happen in real life, but it was nice. You know, they kind of touched upon those points. And the problem is that was it. You know, there was, it improved a theme of the UEFA Champions League. Like, you knew you were in the UEFA Champions League, but there were a lot of things missing in that aspect. And maybe it is time for somebody else to take that over and maybe have Konami focus in on some of the more important values and some of the things that they fell short of in 2018 and some of the things they improved from 2016, 2017 into 2018, and just harness into that a little bit more. You know, as we know, there were new player models this year. They made player models a little bit smaller, probably because the baggy shorts are gone. They improved, the lighting, the texture, the pitch texture, some little values like that really made a big difference in terms of aesthetics. They improved, the mentality of gameplay. Of course, you guys know me, I'm not 100% in belief of that. I've definitely had my opinions about the gameplay and where they can improve. I always try to keep it fairly simple, 1 or 2 pieces, 2 or 3 pieces, as much as, in terms of what can be directly and immediately changed in the theory sense. But, overall PES 2018 was a good step in the right direction. To me, it still is incredibly lacking in a lot of areas that are important for me, which is gameplay, because that's what PES has always been about: gameplay, ball physics, foot to ball physics, player physics, animations, contextual animations, abilities, stats, etc. You name it. But in PES 2016 through 2018, we haven't seen that. And, I've already made my comments about how they have to have a sense of priority, of just getting back to the basic fundamentals of the game. And if the UEFA Champions League being removed, no longer being in the game, the hope is that they're going to focus on other areas such as gameplay, game modes. I know a lot of guys want Master League to be improved. I'm the same way. I actually didn't really touch Master League because what's the point? I couldn't get off the pitch without falling asleep. And that's not an exaggeration. I have literally fallen asleep, nodded off in the middle of a PES 2018 match. It's just something about it that just feels soulless, right? No soul in it. And I really hope they focus on things that are so important to a gamer to get engrossed in it. And those are things like the little things, things that people probably wouldn't have even seen if somebody didn't mention it, or something to get excited about. The problem with PES 2018 especially is that it focused so much on the rare moments in footy, in soccer, and made that the absolute norm. So that was the status quo that you worked with. Forward back heels, check, got it. Happens 10% of the time in a real match, but in PES it happens literally 75% of the time. Perfect shots on the laces, oh yeah. Real life, maybe 10%, 15% depending who's playing. In PES, probably about 90-95% of the time. Amazing saves, real life, it depends on the shots, right? But sometimes those amazing saves come from terrible shots. scuff shots, etc. And that could be, let's say 30% of the time. And PES, 80% of the time. So you see what I'm saying is basically we see all of the amazing things that happen in football and those moments that you get excited about. And then it just becomes watered down because it always happens in PES. You've seen that animation before. You've seen that, that keeper animation. You've seen that shot. You've seen that type of goal. You've seen that backheel pass. You've seen that perfect cross, that perfect through ball, etc. It just becomes one-dimensional in terms of trying to harness in the rare moments and making it too much of a focus. And this is clearly evident whenever you see replays and you see how the replay always slows down at the moment something significant happened, whether it be a cross or it be a backheel flick into space or a through ball, something about it where the highlight team of Konami here have really focused in on that, and they just slow it down just a little bit to make it a highlight reel for you. And the problem with that is football is beautiful because of the rare moments. Soccer is beautiful because of those moments that are supposed to, make us jump out of our seats and be like the Juventus crowd clapping for Ronaldo, because you never see that type of goal, let alone pulled off like that. I mean, those are the moments, and that's what we need more of. In older PES, that's what you used to feel every single time. You never knew what was going to happen. You never knew what animation was going to occur, whether it was contextual, if you've got a man on your back, what kind of shot would happen? What kind of pass would happen? What kind of tackle would happen? Things like that are what kind of just got you engrossed into PES. And so all that I'm talking about, it means that the hope here, and hope is such a strong word at this time when we have no news about PES 2019 other than the fact that there's not going to be any UEFA Champions League. But hope is very strong, and it's a word that I tend to not want to use after 2018 and that game and what it did to the Footy U crowd, my boys over there, and what it did to the relationship, with the guys I interacted with Konami, it just hurt. And it's been really tough. I've stayed as positive as I could be, but I'm also going to remain vigilant in, being logical. That's just how I am, and that's how I'm always going to be. And with this mentality of, not having the Champions League, honestly, I didn't use it as much, but I don't want to think of it as what I didn't use, but more so what it's going to free up. And I think that's what a lot of you guys think as well, is what are you going to free up, Konami? What are you going to use all this space now, right? You don't have to worry about a game mode. You don't have to worry, you can cross it off the list, and that probably takes care of a lot of things. But here's my question, though, is what's going to happen for the future of PES if they lose more licenses, right? People talk about how there was a point in time in PES, in the older PES, where licenses didn't matter, right? And it wasn't a big deal if you had to play man red. It didn't matter because somebody, one, probably in the community would come up with an option file, or two, you would just play it and just enjoy it for the sake of the gameplay and just get engrossed in that. Now, here's the problem with that mentality now. We're in a gaming culture that is completely defined by online. And there's no way somebody is going to play man red or man blue online and enjoy themselves. Let's get that right, okay? If there's no way to get that license, that team license, nobody's going to want to play that regardless, whether the gameplay is beautiful or not. Now, as an offline player, I'm totally okay with that. Not to hate on you online guys, but I'm okay with that because I know I've got the option file crew at PES Universe who are just awesome and amazing. And then I've also got the EvoWeb guys, the PES fan guys who, do the PC editing and all that stuff. That's really what I'm saying. Like, the community in that sense would recover, just like we've always come together and recovered through the good and the bad. It's like a marriage, for better or for worse. And honestly, the perception for this using the UEFA Champions League license is going to look as if it's the worst part but I guarantee you a lot of people are going to look at that in a positive manner. And the big thing for me is, how is the Konami crew, how are they going to spin this for us, right? We've already seen some tweets about, how it's, you got to move backward, you got to kick the ball backwards to restart the attack, or something to that effect. And I think that's a great quote, and I think it's a great tweet. The thing for me is, personally, I'm tired of the lip service. I'm just going to say that right now. I am so tired of, getting hyped or trying to, kind of be instigated to get hyped about a game that hasn't come out yet. But what does have me hyped is this removal of the UEFA Champions League, in the sense of, one, it already happened. Two, it now tells me something definitely is going to be gone, definitely going to be a fact in PES 2019, no matter what. Nobody can deny me of that. Nobody can be like, it's a non-issue. Nobody can be like, oh yeah, the perception is this, that, we need to remove this because of this. No, the fact remains is that it's gone. I don't have to talk about it again. And the more things like that happen, so if they tell me one day that, whoever makes the stats and chose to do the 40 rating as the lowest up to 99, if they remove that guy or whoever that is, or whoever made that decision, and they decide to go a different route, that's another actionable item that I will get excited about. But that's what I mean by not getting into the lip service. I'm not going to believe the hype this year, because it's all about action at this point. Guys, we're in a position right now with this type of environment, when licenses are removed, it's more power to the people, and it's not to start a revolution, but it's more so to raise accountability to those who represent the game that we love, that we grew up with. I'm in my almost my mid 30s now, and I've been with part of PES community for, my goodness, years and years before before I even just knew anything of a further community, and before I even thought about having kids and getting married and all that. So PES has been part of my life, and it's now at a moment in which we can now go back to Konami, hold them accountable if they should fall short on something, because they now have proof that the focus is no longer a Champions League. So now the focus has to be somewhere else. Where is it going to be? I know a good majority of the people that I interact with, the good majority of the people that serve, as community members, they focus on gameplay, and that's just who you associate with. That doesn't mean it's the number one focus, and it doesn't discredit those who play online and want to play arcade type of ball. Not to say online players are that way, but more so that the priority can be online, it can be offline, but there has to be a give and take. There has to be a balance. There has to be a mentality that says, hey, offline players, we're thinking of you. Online players, we're thinking of you. Not just, hey, online players, we're thinking of you. Offline, you get the code that the online guys play, even though you play, 15-minute, 20-minute, 25-minute, 30-minute matches. But we're going to give you the exact same code as them. And good luck, So that's what I'm thinking, in terms of overall of what their response might be, in the sense of, the response is going to come from us as the community. We're now here to hold them accountable to what other actions, to what other lip service we get. And that is the biggest position, the best position to be in right now. Sure, that's the big thing with anything. And I just want to say, a lot of people are positive no matter what in PES, and they love to tweet people. They love to tweet people of influence. I mean, I get that. The thing is, guys, you got to be careful with that. You've got to ask more questions of the company that you're purchasing, you're investing with, because to me, when I see people just harp on how great something is, and I know for a fact that didn't look that great, that sounds to me they've got a hidden agenda, or an agenda to push something, improve their YouTube channel, improve their followers on Twitter, whatever. You've got to be wary of when you see that, because there's a lot of that going on. And it's not to say just be negative, but it's to say be constructive. Be constructive and hold them accountable. And if you PES guys, the guys who rep PES, community managers, social media managers, if you guys are watching this, the thing I would ask of you guys is to ask more questions of the community. On Twitter, we always see, hey, thanks for that suggestion. We'll bring it to our team. Or it'll be a confrontation of some sort if somebody doesn't like something. I guarantee you, you will get so much more feedback, such better feedback if you just ask questions. Let's say person A says, hey man, I really hate how the computer just always makes this perfect long ball every single time. Hey person A, I'm sorry about that. That's something we can definitely work on. How often do you think you see this? And may I ask what difficulty level you're playing, maybe what tactics as well? Boom. You open a dialogue right away. Now you're getting feedback and you're getting a dialogue going. It's common sense, just customer service 101. But the thing is, guys, we're not just customers. If you think about the PES crew, the PES community, we're not customers, we're clients. And that alone should be different in terms of mentality for the guys who rep PES. We're clients, we're not customers. Big difference. Okay, so I went in on a bit of a tangent there, guys. I apologize. The last thing I want to do here is ask you guys a question who are watching this video. What was your most favorite and most disappointing feature of PES 2018 and why? Again, favorite and most disappointing feature of PES 2018 and why? Top answer gets a shout out in my next video. And just a quick note about the channel in general, if you've made it this far, I want to thank you guys for watching and of course sticking with me. Got a lot of projects. I'm sorry about that. I've got so many recordings that I just need to compile and get moving on them. Another thing is I'm part of the Fulham Focus.com team now. I'm in charge of the YouTube channel and the gaming side of things. So, we've got a big thing coming up with Pro Evolution Soccer. You guys know me. I'm not playing 2018, so think about which version I'm playing and think about what I'm probably doing with that. So I really am just going to be blunt. I really would love, you guys to subscribe to that channel, which I've included here. Please do follow. If you know me, you trust me. I think I've proven to you guys what I'm all about. And of course, I'm going to bring the same type of mentality into that channel that I'm working on. And I would love your support, guys. As always, make sure to leave your questions below, any comments about the video. Make sure to answer that question about what was your most favorite and most disappointing feature of PES 2018 and why. Again, the top answer gets a shout out in the next video. And as always, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take care and stay tuned.